All right. Looks like we're live. Not live, but it looks like we're rolling here on the Gurupresario Podcast episode. Oz, what episode is this? 18? Episode 18. I'm here with Keith and Alex Simpson. I actually only put Keith on the call sheet. I didn't know Alex was coming for a while, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I graced y'all with her presence.
Thank you for having me.
So we
squeezing me in.
Yeah, right. No pun intended. So Keith and Alex are the actual owners of Squeezers Juice Company. I'm going to let you guys kind of introduce it first. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then Alex, you introduce yourself, and then introduce, of course, Squeezers, right?
Got you. What's up, guys? I'm Keith Simpson, one half of Squeezers Juice Bar, born and raised in San Antonio, and I bought Squeezers back to San Antonio with my beautiful counterpart here.
Hello, I'm Alexandria Simpson, because we're married. And I like to say I'm the brains of the operation. Yeah. Keith is the beating heart, and I come up with the good ideas.
There you go.
Agreed.
And I'm a wife, I'm a mother, we're business owners, and just living life to the fullest.
Straight up.
Nice. What's the more stressful position, Keith's position or your position, Alex?
No, Keith definitely does the heavy lifting.
Yeah?
I do the heavy lifting with this right here, my brain.
That's exhausting too, though, right? Being a visionary.
It could be very stressful at times, but I feel very blessed to be doing all of those big decisions and stressing over something that I truly, genuinely believe in, something that I truly, genuinely am proud of, and it makes it worthwhile and worth the effort for sure.
Nice. Well, I'm happy and I'm honored that you guys are here with me again. I know I had Keith on the podcast maybe about a year ago. I think it was at the onset of the pandemic. So it's good to have both of you guys in here. It's perfect energy for the delivery of today's message. Tell us a little bit about Squeezers, right? I know founded in Corpus Christi.
McAllen, Texas, in the
Texas?
valley. Yeah, in the valley. Kind of close to Corpus, not that far.
How did it start, man? Tell me about the startup, the idea behind Squeezers, and then where it's at now.
Man, it's a long story, but yeah, go ahead, baby. I definitely love to hear you tell it.
You know, Keith always tells a story, and I feel like I'm going to take this moment.
I like that.
But so juicing started in my household. I came from a vegetarian family. So in the journey of my parents, their food journey and their awareness of just being conscious eaters, juicing was very common in my household. And my brother, who's a foodie as well, opened a restaurant in my hometown, McAllen. And on the weekends, he would host sorry, I'm just like, I'm sweating. I'm like, whoa, I can't even believe I'm doing this.
I think it's the purple lights. It's the purple lights. It kind of like.
It's just the whole vibe in here. It's so amazing. But on the weekends, he would host a farmer's market, and he tried to bring to a small town that farm-to-table concept. So he had connections with farmers, and they would come to the farmer's market, and the cachet of the farmer's market was you bought your vegetables, and we would juice them for you.
Wow.
And the farmer's market grew and grew as the weekends progressed. And
this was before we were married, right?
Oh, no way.
Before we were married.
You guys knew each other. You were dating at this time.
We were dating at the time. It was 2000 and probably like 10. 9, 10, something like that. We would go back and forth from our respective places to McAllen every once in a while and link up in McAllen and hang out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And one weekend, my brother was just swamped. You know, it's just a lot of people, a lot of vendors, and the juice bar, quote unquote, the little juice section.
Actually, James Cantor, who is a prominent
shout out
chef
James
here
Cantor
in San Antonio, at the time was the head chef and lead chef at Alhambra.
Oh my God, that's true.
The restaurant that Alex's brother owned at the time.
This was in McAllen?
In McAllen, Texas. And he would do like pre-juices, like pre-made juices. I remember going to the farmer's market and that was like some of my first experiences with like pre-made juices besides like what the fam would do. Actually, my first experience was with the fam, and then he would kind of do the same concept at the the juice stand.
I really like Keith, so I would feed him as much as possible.
Yeah.
I would see him.
That's the way to the heart, right?
Give him good stuff.
Yeah, so James was running the juice bar, I guess, at the time, and he was like, yo, Keith, you're in town, man. Can you help us out? I was like, bet.
Yeah.
So I got to experience in like a 2-hour span. I think if the juice bar made like $500 cash.
What?
Right there.
Yeah, it was
Just
a
in
line
one day?
of people.
A line of people. A
In
day,
an
2
hour.
hours.
Bro,
yeah,
2
in a
hours. It was 2
short
hours.
period of
I'm going
time.
to quit my podcast. I'm going to go make juice.
Exactly my thought.
The brain explosion.
Like,
Yeah.
ding. I said, JC, next weekend, bro, don't worry about the juice bar, bro. I got you.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
wild.
And literally,
We-
from that day
From
forward,
that day forward, we just kept doing it, and people
Right.
kept coming, selling out. We would only do because it was
This is no brick and mortar, right? Let me make this
Nah,
clear.
bro,
No.
We had a fold-out table. The first time actually we did it,
was at the bar at the restaurant.
Yeah,
Like
the
we
restaurant.
didn't even have, we weren't conscious of what we were doing.
Nah,
we
I
were just
didn't know.
helping
I mean,
my
this is
brother out.
This is my future brother-in-law. Like, I wanted to be good with Alex. Like,
Right.
of course I'm gonna help out in any way I can. JC's a good guy too, so you know what I'm saying. Of course I'm gonna help him out. But yeah, so it was at the actual restaurant behind the bar. I remember I was just serving juices during the daytime, 2 hours, $500. Bing,
It's crazy.
right there.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
So Keith saw dollar signs.
Of
I was
course.
just like
Of
living.
course.
Like it wasn't on my radar just yet. But Keith was like, "Oh my God, let's do it next weekend. Let's do it next weekend." And it literally organically grew from there.
Yeah.
Because then my brother sold the restaurant, and we kept doing it.
Yeah, we kept doing it. Yeah, for
And
sure.
since he sold the restaurant, the farmers market moved to the local library.
And
that
it
was
grew.
the venue.
It actually grew. It grew from there before
yeah.
he sold it. Before he sold the lumber, the farmers market grew from the bar. It couldn't handle it anymore, so we had to move it from the a little Alhambra restaurant to the McAllen Public Library. And
yeah, we're doing it from there.
yeah,
And that was like where we set up the
First fold-out table, which we
I think
had
the
pictures
pictures
of,
on
yeah, pictures on
Instagram.
Instagram.
And then we like stacked a little cheese, and then we got a canopy because it was so hot. It was
Yeah.
in
That's
summertime.
the picture. I think I shared this
yeah,
picture. a while
Yeah.
back.
We literally let the business run itself. Every dollar that we made from squeezers, we just left it in the pot and let
do
it
it.
grow.
Right.
And like she said, we bought a canopy the next time down, and then maybe a year later, the canopy turned into a truck,
The juice
the
truck.
juice cart.
So, future entrepreneurs, just know that you're not going to get paid
Right.
right off the
It's
bat.
hard, yeah, for
It's
sure.
really like
I mean, we didn't take any salary or anything like that shit till 2000 and now.
right.
So,
Hey, but that's what it takes sometimes, right? I mean, and most of all, I think you guys were having fun during this whole time.
Yeah.
oh my god,
Right?
we would have so
Absolutely.
much fun. It was like heavy lifting and
Right.
definitely our families were like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah, a lot of
Doubt.
Well, doubt for sure, but that's in anything you do. Somebody always gonna be like, "What are y'all doing?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What are you doing? You know, you're being crazy, not going the path that we see for you.
Right,
We see
right,
fit
right,
for you.
right.
But I saw something else, man. Like, no one in McAllen was on it. I know definitely nobody in San Antonio was really on juicing. And this was around 2012 when we actually established Squeezers as like a business, and we got
Right.
an LLC for it and all that other stuff, 2012. So you got to think about it, the growth from 2010 of us first helping out our brother-in-law, my brother-in-law at his farmer's market, to 2012, we didn't even have any type of LLC because we were literally just having fun.
Right.
Just having fun. And then Alex was like, "Hey, man, I think we should get an LLC." Like, that's the brains right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, we were just making money, and like, the good Samaritan in me was like, I don't want any like problems.
Of course, you had to play it the
paying
smart way
your
for sure.
taxes and all that stuff. So
The smart Samaritan, not just good, but the smart
Yeah,
Samaritan,
so-
because it wasn't on my radar. Like, I'm just out there, you know
Right.
what I'm saying, grinding.
Take me pre because we were having this conversation before the camera started rolling, right? Take me to pre squeezers. You interned in. We were talking about New York, living in New York.
Okay, I'm going to sum it up in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So I graduated from Memorial High School in McAllen, Texas. I'm an artist, born an artist, tried to continue practicing that in this world that we live in. So I remember going to my counselor, and I was like, I want to go to fashion school. I know there's Parsons and Fashion Institute in LA,
Right.
but I was looking also overseas. And she just looked at me sideways like, girl, I don't even know how to help you. But I was very persistent, and I applied to a school in Milan, Italy. It's called Istituto Marangoni. Love you guys, hey. And they accepted me.
Nice.
But it was really crazy because they had an age requirement, and I was under the age requirement. So they accepted me to their summer program, and it was great because I took like a super intense Italian course because all of my courses were going to be in Italian. I did not know how to speak Italian.
Right.
And it kind of was a gentle way to throw me into the Italian culture and then just getting my mind around actually going to school there. So boom, graduated from fashion school, and then I came back to McAllen, and that's when I met Keith. I had just moved
From
back
Italy back to McAllen,
I had
Texas.
just moved from Europe.
Actually, you were in transition of going to your next educational point. So you stopped in McAllen to come visit the family. And was
Crazy story. So I went to Vegas for a weekend just for fun, and at the hotel we were staying at, I can't even remember which one it was, but they were hosting the Models America. It's like a casting call, and it was a huge thing in Vegas, so like thousands of people. And I was walking by, and they were like, "You're so cute. You should walk on the runway."
They were recruiting you.
And I was like, "Bet, let's do it." And I walked, and the only offer I got was to go to the New York School of Film and Television, the New York Conservatory / School of Film and Television.
Was that at Union Square?
That was close to Union Square. It was
in Chelsea, I remember.
Yeah, it was
I don't remember
on 48th Street. Was it 48th
48th?
Street? I'm not good with numbers.
Maybe
Keith is the number guy.
If it was in Chelsea, yeah, I'm trying to think. Because I feel like I had a friend that went there a couple of years ago.
I don't have my phone.
Basically, the School of Film and Television.
Yeah.
Right.
You could Google it or whatever, but yeah.
Chelsea
Yeah.
and
Vegas.
yeah, they offered me a scholarship to go to
Nice.
freaking arts film school, and I went. But in between that time,
You were in McAllen.
I met Keith, and I was like, I really like you, Keith, but I'm moving to New York in 3
And
months.
I was in McAllen, not just for no reason. I was playing basketball at the time, and the team I was playing for was based in the Valley.
Okay.
And, I was playing for that team and, hanging out and shit. It was like maybe the summertime. I came in contact with Alex through a mutual friend.
Nice.
And she was like, and I've dropped
It was Sparks.
Yeah, it was Sparks. Like,
Yeah.
First
right away.
sight, he saw me. I saw him. I was like, ooh, okay.
This was 2007, 6, 7. And she was like, well, we're good and all, but I'm about to head to New York. Like, I'm going to school in New York. I was like, okay, bet. I got an off season. I'll see you in New York.
Yeah.
And
So you went out?
I know, and he's saying these things, and I'm just like rolling my eyes in the back of my head, like, yeah, sure, whatever, dude.
Yeah. So
He didn't want you to go.
it was. We spent like maybe
the whole summer
the
together.
whole summer, 3 months, so roughly about 3 months every day together, like every day. Time for her to leave, she leaves. I think off season comes about, and boom.
He showed up on my doorstep in Brooklyn,
Brooklyn Heights. It was in Brooklyn Heights.
outside
Oh, no
my
way.
dorm room.
Yeah.
He's with his duffel bag just outside waiting for me. I get off the highway, off the subway, and I'm like,
It was love at first sight, man.
I was like,
Yeah,
this
so I
guy's
had to.
crazy.
Yeah, you had to go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had been playing ball for a while. I've seen them all. Seen them all. I was like, I'm not going to let this one go. So, showed up in New York, spent some time out there, go back to play for a while, come back. We kept doing the long distance things.
We had a long distance relationship for a long time.
Like she said, this girl's she's an artist. So, she was like, I think it was 2 years into New York. She was like, Yeah, well, I'm done with school. I'm about to go act in L.A.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I was like, I'm moving to LA. I know all this stuff now. I can make it there. And there I go. I literally moved across country. And it was perfect because Keith was in the China draft. So he would fly into LAX, hang out with me.
I got drafted.
Oh, you were in the China draft?
Yeah, I got drafted to a team in China. So I would have to go out there for workouts season or whatever. So I would, Texas to LA.
Bro, I had no idea you were playing this level of ball.
Yeah, I mean, I played for a while.
What?
I spent like 6 years of my life dedicated to professional basketball, dedicated, like nothing else. Trying to make that pursuit to the NBA,
right.
Going to jumping league to league to league and all that other stuff, minor leagues to, finally getting overseas and, playing overseas and stuff. And that was in China. So I would stop in LA, then fly out to China, but, come back and forth because it was like 2 weeks training sometimes. And they're like, well, you can have the option to hang out here or fly back home.
Right.
So I'll fly back out to LA, hang out there and stuff. And then,
So at this point, I'm like 8, 9 years.
Yeah.
I had graduated from high school, all this, art school accolades, but no money.
Right.
So my parents were like, what are you going to do with your life? And then this like long distance boyfriend that I was like very serious about, and my mom was concerned to say the least. And I think I expressed those concerns.
She moved back to.
So you left Brooklyn.
Yeah, I actually
into LA. Yeah, left Brooklyn, going to LA. She did her acting thing in LA. You did pretty good in LA.
Yeah, I feel like I had just gotten my feet wet.
What did you like better, LA or Brooklyn or New York City?
I actually lived in Brooklyn for 5 minutes. I moved to Manhattan shortly after. I lived close to Ground Zero because the rent was really low back then.
Right.
And I...
or maybe they both had their place.
Yeah,
right? But what did you take from New York? Let's say that, and then we'll talk about
what
LA.
I took from New York was the hustle, the niceness was like kind of slapped out of me in some reality.
You got to understand where she lived in Manhattan. It was in Battery Park City, so Rector was right there going on to Wall Street.
Right.
Like, every day I remember you would
I would walk down Wall Street.
You're literally less than what 10 blocks from Wall Street. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like that energy. Like I was telling you, like
every
you
day.
have that energy, that like go-getting energy, everything. I was definitely more laid back coming from Texas. I had a car. Right. I just drove everywhere, like all this walking, like definitely lost some weight. And
Budo Valley girl.
And the grind. Like I remember I lived in a very nice building where the washing machine was on my floor, but like just the concept of like having to go downstairs to the laundromat and all these amenities that I was used to, and then
took for granted.
They get taken right out of you.
Yeah, even going to the supermarket in the snow, carrying like 2-3 bags to your, wherever floor you live on, like all of that. There was
a lot of Fresh Direct at that time too. Like there was a lot of Fresh Direct.
I'm trying to look tough over here.
I
Fresh Direct.
Only time we went to.
Let's put an aerial up real quick. Go ahead though. You got a funny story. So Ruben's in the back, guys. I keep looking back, but the camera could barely see him. But Ruben, there he is. So Ruben's in the back, but Ruben's originally he lived in Brooklyn. He's one of the original people that I left. But Ruben has a photo of me because it's funny because you were talking about groceries in the snow. Ruben has a photo of me in shorts because this is when I just got to New York. In shorts, I think I was wearing my Vibram 5 Fingers, no socks, a T-shirt. And I'm rolling through the snow, like getting ready to go. I think we're grocery shopping. It's so funny.
I love that you said that.
And
I think that's definitely like part of the culture shock. Just the temperature changes.
Yep.
Keith also I'm like, yo, it's cold. Like, bring your coat and he brought jeans and a long sleeve T-shirt. And I'm like, I think that's not enough. And
we had to go to Century. What was it? Century 21.
Oh, Century. Oh, do you remember
Century
21? Did you ever go there?
There's a department store there. There's a department store there. Like you can get clothes for decent prices or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So we went in there, man, and
I bought.
fucking,
I was like, you
cashmere
need
gloves,
you need a coat.
Timberland coat. I remember it was like a big ass Timberland coat that kept me all right for the time that I was there.
Yeah, but he turned that one building corner. You know how like the sun hits you on one side, but you just like turn a corner and then you hit that temperature change.
Right.
Smacks you in the
And
face.
And the wind hits you through those tunnels.
It is cold.
And then what do you get from LA?
From LA, personally, I was like, what is in the freaking water here? Because everyone was just so beautiful. Like, I just saw like gorgeous women. And I remember I lived not far from a plastic surgery facility, and I saw like perfection of human beings walking in there. And I was like, yo.
Before or after surgery?
No, I mean, obviously they were going to get something done if they were walking in there, but in my opinion, they didn't.
They're not stumbling out yet. They didn't get nipped yet.
Yeah, so, and then I was in the acting world, so, you know, you go to an audition, you walk into a room, you have like 15 other girls that look practically exactly like you, and you're just like, you know, are you my cousin?
Right.
And just, I was in acting class, and just the talent and the beauty, female and male, I was just like, obviously Hollywood is Hollywood. Like, they get the candy of the candy over here. And what I liked the most about it, like, I felt like it was more like Texas. Like, you're in your car, you know what I'm saying? Back. Like, it was a little bit more chill. And I like that
it's
about
It's not such
LA.
a struggle to get groceries,
right, like
to get your coffee.
Park your car, walk to the grocery store, get everything back in your car.
We take so many things for granted here in Texas. Like a lot of my, I'm like, I tell every one of my friends, you know, as we're growing up, I'm like, man, you have to go and spend a little bit of time in New York to really understand like how easy it is here. Because you come back with a different mindset. Absolutely. You're just, for one, you're more motivated, but for two, you realize like, man, yeah, I could just pop in my car real quick and go to the grocery store and grab a 6-pack of whatever I need. In New York, it's like, no, I mean, this is pre-Uber or whatever, pre-Uber Eats. But before, it's like, no, you got to plan your whole day around doing things or getting around. It's funny.
I don't know about you, but it was always like you had to be strategic to not spend money in New York. I felt like I walked out of my door and I was like, it was just, it's an expensive city. So I appreciated moving to LA, even though LA is also very expensive. I felt like it wasn't as expensive as New York.
It's so funny that, you know, you're talking about it being expensive, but Ruben remembers this because he would always ask me right before we go and eat somewhere. I'm on my phone placing an order for something. But you guys remember, do you remember, this is pre like Uber Eats and everything, delivery.com? Funny thing. Okay, so delivery.com was basically like the Uber Eats of today.
Okay.
They had just rolled out their app. Or I don't even think they had an app. It was a website, a web page. If you had a new email, you go on there, they'll give you $5 towards your order. I can't tell you how many emails I made that year. Bro, I swear, if they were to look into it, I mean, I probably made like 1,000 emails. I got $5 off of it. That was the only way I was able to survive when I was
working. But you got to get it how you live, though. That's what she's talking about. You got to get it how you live, man. Especially in a place like New York, you have to figure out, maneuver, strategize.
I was making $100 a week.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's
in New York, bro. Like I mean, your Metro Pass probably like was
that alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, you have to be creative and you have to survive, because if you don't, you don't make it.
You get eaten. It's eat or get eaten out there.
Right.
And it's point blank, period. Like, only the strong survive, and you either going to make it or you not.
I think I survived because I was just so oblivious to the dangers, so oblivious to, you know, everything, that it's just like God protecting me everywhere I went. Because if I would have like, if I was what I know now, then I would have still survived. But I just feel like, God was on my side, because I would.
True that.
By myself. Oh, I mean, when Keith would come visit.
No, but you were there. You were there by yourself.
By myself, and I felt like I had to protect myself.
Right. You're always on guard, I feel like, yeah?
Yeah.
Being so little and cute also, like, you was definitely like prey out there.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let's go back. I want to touch on the message of health and wellness, right? How did that start at the at Squeezers?
So, like we said, I was
Health
playing
is wealth,
basketball.
right?
Yeah, health is wealth. I was playing basketball at the time, and of me first getting into that, healthy, conscious eating type of realm, and for me, I just wanted to give the benefits that I was getting from learning about health and wellness to the rest of the people. Educate people, because I didn't know anything about it, man. I was playing ball, just eating whatever was coming to me, like, room service or going to the local Waffle House and eating that, and that was my fuel. Alex put me on to, like, fuel in my body on a cellular level with, real fruits, real food.
Yeah,
real food,
I
food.
say high vibrational foods.
Yeah.
So, like an apple, you pick it from a tree. The tree has roots in the ground. It's still living. It will produce another apple.
Right.
So that energy, the energy from the earth, the minerals,
sun,
and,
right.
and the sun beaming on it 24/7. That's the energy I feel like you get when you do eat an apple. Versus like even grains, you have to cook them. So it's like something that you cook and then you eat it. Or even like a steak that you kill and then you cook it and then
the
you eat it.
The nutritional value of all of those things isn't as great as the apple off the tree.
Definitely it's nutritional value, but I'm talking about vibrations. Like I'm talking about like the energy of something. You're putting that in your body to create, to be healthy and have energy and everything. But fruits and veggies in particular give you vitality.
Right.
They give you a vibrant energy. And I feel like when you do eat clean or you do those times where you fast or whatever you do to like cleanse yourself, you have a mental clarity.
Right.
Than when you're, just drinking a lot and eating a lot of fast food.
By a lot of meats and stuff like that. Yeah.
It can weigh you down, not only physically, but also mentally. So
health and wealth together directly goes together, because no matter how much money you have, if you don't have that health that you need in order to actually enjoy it, like imagine being a billionaire, you can't enjoy a yacht,
right?
Because you can't,
Well, then that's the truth, right? There's a lot of people out there that do have a lot of money and they're very unhappy, and kind of like my thing and what you just said vibrates directly with this, but following passion I think is important in life, because you're always money's always going to come and go.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you got to protect up here. Yeah. What's up here, and there's a lot of habits that we could pick up just living day-to-day life, whether it's going to the a workplace that you don't like, or eating things that you don't, or that you like but aren't necessarily the best for you. Yeah. They're going to start to obstruct your vision of life, and then in turn make you an unhappy person. So I always, I try to preach that living passionately and purposefully is probably the most important components of, having a happy life. But yeah, I mean, inevitably things that come from the earth, and I mean, I'm sure you guys meditate.
Keith and I are even trying to take it to a whole other level. Don't say that? Okay.
Not yet.
But again, just thinking about it, like, okay, how was this made? The quality,
consciously,
because
where it comes from.
Even a steak has its grades, right? You have a cow that had a great life until they had that one day, right? Versus cows that are probably mistreated or aren't fed very well, and
we absorb that when we eat that.
Right, that's all energy that the cow absorbs, and then you eat that. So in that sense, I feel like I awakened that in Keith, because it wasn't on his radar.
Exactly, it wasn't on my radar. So she educated me, and I just took what I was educated on and doing, the extensive research that I did on what, like, per se, a beet does for the body. Right. And the recovery time that I had at that time of learning about health and wellness was bar none, dude. Like, I recovered like no other. Like, Going
he felt the difference.
Yeah, going into training camps and stuff like that, man, I was just a different, bouncier, more energetic, clear-minded, like, you know, conscious human being versus just, you know, waking out of bed, you know, sluggish, groggy and shit. You know, then going to practice. Yeah. And then I was able to extend my career like a couple more years because of that too, because, you know, I felt a little bit better too.
So I know I've never worked with you guys at Squeezers, but I'm assuming the culture at Squeezers is very much in line with being mindful of these conscious habits.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I feel we're teachers a lot of the time, and we like to hang out at the shop a lot. So we try to hire people that have, you know, pleasant energy and are about learning our, you know, culture. Veggie fruit culture, and they really do absorb it. I mean, some of these kids they don't know what a beet is. They don't know what kale is. They don't know how to cut a pineapple or a watermelon. And so in that sense, we are educating.
Like Dom for say.
Shout out Dom.
Dom is a 5-year tenure with us. We got him out of high school at Brackenbridge.
He's 15 years old.
16. He was 16 at the time. And we're going to say he's 16 because...
his parents came to the shop and were like, can our son work here?
Yeah,
so
basically.
This was when you guys had the shop right down the street from Breckenridge, yeah?
Yeah,
yes.
on Proban.
Proban, yeah.
Right.
So Dom came to us not knowing anything and asked could he work, and we threw him in the water, and he swam. Like, he's a conscious kid about, you know, fruits and veggies. I think he planted a garden in the back of his dad's house. He put his family also on, you know, health and wellness. He, a lot of his family were, you know, just typical, you know, us. Like, we're eating bad food, taking a lot of medications, and, you know, just living the unnatural life that, you know, we're kind of pushed into.
The manufactured American
the comfort zone.
The process life.
Yeah.
Right. So he put a lot of his family on that stuff, and I think
he's a juice master now.
Oh, yeah,
he makes
for sure.
the most beautiful juices, and just his ratio, he's so thoughtful when he makes the juices, and I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, he's really taken what we have started and put it into a way that is translatable to the younger generation, I would say. Right. The kid is 20 years old right now, 21 years old right now.
And it reciprocates that. I mean, he told his homies about it. Their homies told the girlfriends told the homegirls told their mommies and daddies. You know, it's just like, it really was word of mouth.
Right.
And resonated. Not only just told her, but it resonated in each one that came out.
It was like, oh, yeah, this makes sense. And then I really feel like juicing, I don't want to say like, oh, you know, we're just like the purest people and all we do is eat fruits and veggies. No. I mean, you know, we eat hamburgers sometimes, and we you know,
balanced lifestyle.
But it's a fun way to add fruits and veggies to your already diet in a fun, easy, delicious way.
Right.
Like, it's just
right. What sparked this? Because you guys started at Proban. What sparked you guys to shift towards the Pearl?
Well, man, it was a long process.
Better location now, I would say. Yeah, I mean, more traffic.
Traffic is definitely better, man. More conscious, level-minded people about health and wellness, and, you know, keeping their body at the most optimal level. They do yoga upstairs.
That's right. Yeah, Black Swan right above you guys.
In that building,
and you got a holistic health upstairs. Also, you have people who run up and down the strip, people who live in Midtown. A lot of nurses, doctors, and stuff like that. So the traffic there is a different traffic, and it's grown. So we progressively grown from that small house at Proban to our Alamo location, and then from Alamo our Alamo location was 700 square feet. We were literally making miracles happen out of that small kitchen, to where we are now, double the size. We could push out way more, way quicker, and more efficient stuff.
Yeah, I mean, our kitchen was it was ridiculous. I mean, it was like literally it was maybe half of this room. I mean, we're bumping into each other, you know.
Right.
It was, we made it happen.
Because of that same hustle that we had, that same drive that we had. So it felt like, you know, having that place felt like the truck, the juice cart that we still have and operate today, but it felt like that just more commercially. So we knew how to maneuver. With the
front of house, so people could like sit down and hang out.
So we knew how to maneuver in a small space, but now we have a small space that we're maneuvering in with the lobby, right? And it just made it that much more, I guess,
like an actual
brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar, yeah.
You guys made that move during the pandemic?
We made the move from Alamo to where we are now in Elmira, the double-sized location, yes, in the pandemic.
Did the pandemic make it easier to make that or harder?
Oh,
way
my
harder,
God.
Like,
no, it was...
The city was operating at 30%.
20%. Yeah, 20% like in the beginning, like, I mean, you lived it. Everything literally shut down.
Right. So, getting permits, during all of the process of Squeezer's building, man, we were, you know, in having our life happen as well, getting married.
Right.
I was pregnant.
Yeah, we had Aaliyah first at the time in McAllen.
Which, going a little bit backwards, that's what I was saying. My mom was like, you're pregnant. Like, Keith needs a solid job. You need health insurance.
Which I did have. Like, after I played basketball, I started coaching in the athletic director realm of stuff, and I really did not
He hated. He hated. I mean, he loved the students, but it wasn't his calling, and it was definitely a job. You know?
Right. Exactly.
It wasn't his passion per se, even though it was in the basketball realm.
Yeah, in the beginning stages of Squeezes, I would do my 9 to 5, and then on the weekend, I would do my passion project, having fun, you know what I'm saying, educating people on health and wellness through juice, and then to the point where it was like, man, Alex, I don't know, my contract is up, like, should I go back or what? And, you know, my wife was super, super supportive at the time. She was like, Keith, I see you when you come home from work, but then I also see you when you come home from, you know, juicing. You look definitely way more happier doing the juice stuff rather than the basketball stuff, coaching stuff, I should say, more so than basketball, athletic director stuff. So that was really like a lot of managing and delegation stuff, which I learned a lot doing that. I learned how to delegate, you know, and do a lot of stuff that I probably wouldn't have experienced if I didn't have that job. But, it was
and I went against my family's wishes and advice. Yeah, I think that's probably one of my prime wife moments.
But they eventually came around, though, right?
Oh, I mean, now they're just, like, super, like, of course. But that was definitely a proud wife moment for me where I was like, we got this. Baby, I believe in him. I know we can do this.
So let me go back to, that move during the pandemic made it much harder because, one, people weren't working, right?
Yeah.
Everything was shut down.
Yeah.
What else?
You couldn't do any people inside of your restaurants.
Oh,
Restaurants
so we
all
had
shut
to be
down.
creative with the shop and do curbside.
That's right. You didn't even have there was no limited capacity. It was no one can be inside.
Inside at all. So it was limited capacity. We still had our shop at Alamo up and running.
Right.
Thank God.
And thank you, San Antonio, for supporting us in this. Because
San Antonio gained a new level of consciousness on immunity.
Right.
And just health and
wellness and immunity, immune system wise, like they knew that because at the start of the pandemic, it was like it's attacking your immune system,
right?
Your cardiovascular system. I think people did a lot of research on what things they could do naturally or day to day,
that would help build
your immune system or cardiovascular system or whatnot.
Came through.
You guys were doing a lot of the educating in that space.
Yeah, we were saying it also, you know, via Instagram. You know, that's our biggest. I say Instagram because that's our biggest advertiser.
Right.
For free. So we were doing a lot of like, you know, educational stuff on there, and people came out, man, and
they were doing the curbside, and we rearranged the shop just like to have more space. To prep and stuff, and we just pivoting and being creative and going with the flow. And
all the while, we had the other shop that we were building because it was a white box, so we had to get a contractor in there to build that out for us. And do everything that needed to be
Oh
done
my
to make
God.
that happen. We were getting the permits ourselves because it was a learning curve. Every stage of business has been a learning process. We didn't have a mentor or anything like that in this game. We just are really going off of, oh shit, we're not.
You
supposed
living
to do
and
it like-
learning.
Yeah, we're not supposed to do it like that. All right, we gotta go back to the drawing board. We'll, do it again, which
Really?
I'm used to, man. Because like, I always translate stuff to basketball. Because like in basketball, for instance, you're not good at something, you don't just quit. Like,
Right.
you go back to the drawing board, figure out what you did wrong, watch film, find ways to improve yourself, then go back to it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it was a lot of that back and forth, which I was used to, and it was good for me to have that experience in basketball and translate it to this business world.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and we make a good team. I feel like Keith is the beating heart, and he really is in touch with operations and the way he communicates with our team. They really listen to him and
They respond. They respond.
Yeah,
to
they
your-
respond to him because he has that coaching quality,
Right.
that leadership quality.
But with any good leader, you have a mutual respect with
course.
your coworkers or teammates
Right.
or students or whatever
Right.
may have you. Some mutual respect. So that kid coming in with that 16 years old, I looked at him in the eye and gave him mutual respect. Like, hey man, I respect you. I know you respect me. Let's do this together and get this job done. And I think they really, really appreciate that. And I've been using that ever since I started training kids playing basketball all the way up into coaching them in team settings, and then now in business. It's
Right.
always a mutual respect thing.
Keith empowers people. I think he sees the qualities in a person and he maybe verbalizes it to them. And a lot of these kids haven't even heard, things like that about themselves. So we're about empowering
For
Right.
these
sure.
young kids
Yeah.
and building that confidence. And
We've had people come through to the shop and work for a while and see the intricate details, hustle and bustle of it, and like, man, I could do this in another realm. And they've
start
gone
their
on,
own
start their own
businesses.
businesses.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
and
yeah,
be
for sure.
striving and
Yeah,
successful.
yeah,
Nice.
for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, they've picked up on that. I want to go back specifically. We were talking about before the camera started rolling, building a team. Right, there was a struggle in getting people, finding people to help. Right, because
Yeah.
things were happening within the pandemic that
Yeah.
unemployment's going out, and it's hard to find good work because people are just comfortably living with this unemployment. Tell me about that, man. What was that experience like for you, and then what did you ultimately learn from it?
So you had the what were the checks they were giving out? Stimulus checks
Right.
going out. You had workers unemployment just
Right.
being given out really easily. So it was hard to get people to even come in and fill out an application, bro.
Right.
Like,
Actually, people would fill out an application, make an appointment for an interview, and just never show up. That happened a lot.
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah.
Because ideally, when you're on unemployment, that's all you have to kind of represent is that I've applied somewhere, I think, or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Right.
so I found out about that hustle that
Right.
was going on during this time also. So it was really hard to get people in there. And
Assuming you guys were
work.
working 14-hour.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and then we were working
we are
also.
just
So
also used to people literally walking in the shop, falling in love with the situation, and just being like, "Are you hiring?"
yeah,
Yeah.
So we always had an abundance of applications and an abundance of pool of people to choose from, and
Right.
now we can't even get anyone to show up to
Yeah.
the
Right.
interview.
Well, maybe that'll change next month. Because
Yeah, I was going to say that's
Yeah.
changing now that
Yeah,
Greg Abbott
unemployment-
signed something in place, yeah?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how that'll go, but since the last time that we had that conversation, man, I thought that we needed more to get more production out of our juice bar, but I found that less is more, and
Right.
people needing to do their own thing or step aside, or we needed to part ways with a few people, has made our shop, our juice bar, that much more better, and I think run that much more efficiently, and the quality of a product has upped itself in that time, because the people who probably weren't there genuinely to be about that life of health and wellness,
Right.
spiritually balling, and what we represent and embody in Squeezers have parted ways. So it allows some more fresh air, I would say, to be inside of the space.
Right, of course. Yeah. How did you realize that? It just kind of day one to day two?
Really, it was, dude.
Like, and I bet that was a lot off your shoulders,
I'm sure you could see how I was that day.
Yeah, you looked a little stressed, bro.
Yeah, bro. And it was like the first thing I think I probably said off the bat was like, man, labor is fucking crazy right now, bro. But since then, and how we figured that out is just that it kind of happened by itself, man. And that's our spiritually balling mantra that we have between each other, and that we have now shared with everybody else, is that when your intentions are in the right place, everything else, intention plus hard work, of course, hustle and all that stuff, when all of that stuff is in the right place and it's in line, things will fall into place for you in order to be successful. And that's what we call spiritually balling, when all of that stuff is, man, the dots are just there for you to connect.
The universe aligns itself, right?
Yeah, and I feel like since that time, the universe aligned itself. I trusted in the universe, really honed in on things that I was probably not aware of in myself, because that's all I always do too. I check myself first, see what's going on.
Sometimes we don't take enough time to do that, man. I mean, I'm at fault for this. I used to be good about waking up every morning, affirming what I wanted, affirming where I was going, and then taking action. And I haven't done it in a while, but I mean, luckily it's kind of that wave of, good vibration, good intention, and then ultimately building the life that we want has fortunately still carried itself. But you're right, it's important to live intentionally in that realm.
Yeah, which came to me in 2018. My intention and purpose mindset had gotten a lot more stronger than it was before, because I mean, not that I wasn't living with purpose or intention before, but I wasn't as conscious about it then as I am now. Like, just every day, what am I doing at this moment to make my quality of life better, or someone else's quality of life better?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the type of like intention I have and purpose I have, I guess, day to day.
Right.
We're so powerful individuals. I feel like people don't even talk about this because it's kind of frou la la. You can't really touch it or grab it, but we all have that power to manifest the lives that we want.
Every human, whether you are in the streets of LA, or in being homeless, or streets of San Antonio being homeless, to the top of the buildings in New York or the top of the buildings here in San Antonio, man, you have that power. You have that same 24 hours that everybody else have. It's like, what are you doing in that 24-hour span to make your quality of life or someone else's quality of life better? Because this is what I also found out too, is that if I'm not making my quality of life better and I'm making somebody else's quality of life better, I'm still making my quality of life better, because these people are around me. I want to make sure that everybody is empowered around me, and within empowering everybody around me, I'm going to be empowered of seeing somebody else grow, because, they may grow into being somewhere where I need to cross that bridge later on in life. And, hey, man, help me out also, or, do whatever.
Which that has happened also in our short span, just like, people they go and fly, they get their wings, and then they come back and they help us out in some way, shape, or form.
Sure. For sure. Give us some new information that we needed, that we weren't ahead of, because, we got our blinders on going, 100 miles an hour.
And it helps.
Yeah,
it helps.
For sure.
Right. I want to take us to our last narrative, right? Thinking of this, we're coming at it, I mean, for what it seems like, right? We're coming out of this pandemic. What does Squeezers look like coming out of this pandemic? I mean, bigger plans. Currently, you guys are operating 2 stores.
1 store right now, and our juice cart. So our juice cart is still operational around the city. It does events and stuff like that.
Plans to franchise or anything?
We are licensing and franchising, all that stuff in the works, which we've had offers in the past of doing a lot of franchise work, but we want to make sure it's mutually good for both parties, and they are in the same type of alignment that we are in when we're thinking about health and wellness, per se.
Yeah, I'm ready to just, have more contact with people. I took a lot of pride when I would work the register, take orders. I would remember people's names,
Right.
But with the mask, it became
difficult.
quite challenging, and there was that disconnect. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing people's faces.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Looking forward to people hanging out in the shop,
Yeah.
just kicking it on their laptops or just having a conversation, having a first date. I feel like Squeezers became like that first
Really?
date place,
It
right?
is, it is.
Really
Yeah.
is.
For
Because,
sure.
I mean, it's in the daytime, you're on that health and wellness vibe. So it's a good starting point.
Right.
I think it's a healthy, beautiful starting point. So I'm looking forward to seeing young couples sparking their romances up in the shop. Keith has become quite the curator now that we have more wall space. He's hosted local artists every month.
Nice.
So if you pull up at the shop, whatever's on the wall is a local
It's local
artist.
artists that you're putting through there.
Yeah, sort of almost like a little mini gallery.
Mini gallery,
Nice.
mini gallery, and
people are selling their art in there, really, and that's me doing what I can and using my platform to empower somebody
Right.
else, especially in the art realm, which I have great admiration for art, obviously, because my wife is an artist.
Right.
Like, I have great admiration for what artists do, and it isn't that easy to get into galleries, but we have people coming into our shop all the time. It may not be art enthusiast, but they may start to be an
Right.
art enthusiast, or they may want to buy a piece that they see in there.
that they really like,
Yeah.
and it's really cool. It's really
It's
I'll
fun.
have to check that out.
All
Yeah.
fun, bro. All fun. Every first Saturday of every month. we
Okay.
do a
You
new
guys do an
artist.
exhibit there?
Yeah, when we exhibit for the
For the
whole
entire month?
Yeah. For the whole
And just the gratitude from these young artists. I think since art isn't really something that people consider a career path. I mean, there are those artists that
Right,
you know,
right.
do,
But it's viewed differently
but
from
it's
like
definitely few more. Yeah, it's not like becoming a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer or something.
it's a different type of
Right.
career.
So the gratitude is just like, oh my God, thank you for letting me show my work here.
Yeah, giving them a platform, giving them a place to
It is
exhibit their
so
work.
fulfilling.
which goes into our next realm of business also that we've been introduced to via this kid named Tevin Orange. I don't know if you know this dude.
No.
Tevin Orange, bro.
Ozzy do?
Who, man?
Who is this guy?
Connect with this dude. I would say he's a money artist.
He's from here in town? San Antonio?
Yeah, San Antonio.
A
I
money
would
artist.
I would
I
call
like that.
I would call Tevin Orange a money artist.
Actually graduated.
Really?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oz, you went to school with him?
Yeah, I went
Bro.
to school with him. We both were in the same finance classes.
Crazy. Wait, this is UIW or this is
Yeah.
wild? So he's an alumni with us.
Yeah.
Nice, man. I love the kid already.
Find him. He's
not a kid,
And
he's an adult now.
I'll shoot him. I'll shoot his profile to you via.
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
But this kid has brought NFTs into our realm.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yes.
And
The
what
kid
he-
blows my mind every time I talk to him.
When he, our next venture is into the NFT world via
Nice.
Squeezers Juice Bar. So be looking out for that also.
Yeah, definitely.
That's going to be something that I'm really, really excited about, that we are excited about going into the digital world.
Right. Well, guys, I want to give you guys a big thank you for coming in. First of all, what I usually like to do by tradition is I usually like to leave with a good message. So if you guys whether want to give a message together or give a message individually to the audience that's listening out there, specifically the younger audience, again, a lot of this podcast it's produced with the purpose of motivating younger individuals to take action, live their lives passionately, and follow their dreams, opposed to the just the hustle, right? What kind of message would you give them, Keith?
So one of the biggest things that I've learned in these years of hustle and bustle is if you really fall in love with the actual process of whatever it is that you're doing, the process, I mean the grind of it, fall in love with figuring out, like for me, for instance, logistics of deliveries, going to get produce that I need, picking the produce that I need, working with people that I may have not worked with before that I need to work with, learning all the intricate details, the process, the hard work of whatever it is that you do, the tedious work that you actually do. When you fall in love with that part of it, the success is going to come automatically. Success will come automatically. That's just I don't know if that's cliche or not. I don't really hear many people say well, they say trust the process.
Right.
Trust the process. But I'm talking about actually falling in love, being infatuated with it, waking up and wanting to do it over and over and over again. If you fall in love with that part, you'll be able to, I think, find some level of success. What level of success, that also depends on the individual, but you will have some level of success once you fall in love with the process.
Right. A different viewpoint of it, right? It's not about getting from A to B. It's more of what's the journey of A to B, and how do you learn to appreciate that journey?
Each step.
Right? Because it teaches us something.
Each step of the way.
And you have to be present in those moments, because if you go from 0 to success and you aren't present in those intricate little details, you're gonna miss the whole shebang. There's a lot of growth in those moments, a lot of learning, a lot of everything.
When I say that, also, like, I look back and at where we started from, 50 orange juices that were organic, 50 organic grapefruit juices at a farmer's market sold out.
Right.
The process of actually making each one of those 50 juices, getting all the juices transferred from our kitchen to the farmer's market, breaking everything down, coming home sticky. I used to measure my success of the day by how sticky you were, how sticky my arms were. And my arms were super sticky. You had to work. Bread. I made some bread that day. Right. And if they weren't, I was like, fuck, man, I need to work harder. I need to do something. But yeah, that's me falling in love with the process, because I used to really be in love with that part. Like, man, this. Yeah,
because it showed you. It took you back to where you were working them.
Yeah. My arms aren't as sticky as they used to be, because I got somebody else to be sticky now. But there's other ways in this new process, in this new journey I'm in, with business and life whatsoever.
Good deal. I'm positive that a lot of people that are listening out there are going to take that message and roll with it. Alex, what about you?
I know it's cliche, but I just gotta shout out my God. The universe, like the higher power. I think this whole process from that day where I was like, yeah, Keith, quit your job and let's do this. I think that moment, and now I'm just like, wow, like, you have to have faith. And I say that because there is no, I guess technically there is a blueprint, but even if you go every step calculated,
it doesn't assure success.
It doesn't assure success. And if the blueprint that you got was from 2020 or 2021 and it's 2020 now, there's definitely going to be, it's in a different space in a different time. So I think God is a silent investor, definitely, at Squeezers, and I'm grateful for that. And I hope to just grow my faith in that even more than now, because if without that, it's really hard. It's really hard, because success is even. You see people who are successful, but you don't know what your success will be. And all the things that you want for yourself have never existed. So all those things that you wish to have in your life all come from you and what power and energy you have, like, taken out of yourself to produce.
Right.
And I feel like that's God. That's all God.
It's true.
So, shout out God.
100%. 100%. Our silent investor, like you said.
And our slogan is spiritually balling, and it really is that. It's like, I don't care. I have all the faith in the world that we're gonna ball. Like,
and the confidence in that also is our abilities that our Creator has given to us as well. Like, we know what we are capable of.
Right.
So that faith that you have comes from knowing what you're capable of.
And the success that we can tangibly say we've we've equated now, I just like, of course,
Right.
someone's helping us.
Right.
and I like, if they brought us this far, you know, the sky's the limit.
Right.
So let the sky be the limit. Always believe in yourself. Always do what you love and makes you happy. I think people look at us and they're like, you're so successful or whatever, but it really isn't that. It's just that we really just do what makes us happy.
Right.
And if we weren't doing it at Squeezers, I kid you not, we would be doing it in my kitchen.
Yeah,
Right.
We'd be juicing
Right.
anyway. For sure.
We'd be juicing
It's our
anyway.
lifestyle. It really is a lifestyle for us. Our kids are on it. We're on it. We'd
Yeah.
be doing it anyway. For sure.
So,
I think both of you guys, I think that's a phenomenal message to put out there. I think spirituality, you know, being conscious of, for one, what you want out of life, and then of course calling it whether it's God or your higher power, infinite intelligence, making sure that you adhere to that principle, right? That we're not here by chance. Life to me is a gift. Like me going through whatever I'm going through, whether it's a hard day, whether it's a good day, the position that I'm currently in, it's not by chance. And I have to be aware of that. And I have to be aware that there's infinite intelligence up there that is directing a lot of what's making this successful.
I heard something one time that said, God places you exactly where your intelligence allows you to be.
Right.
right. And you attract people who are in that same
Oh, 100%.
in that same intelligent realm. Like even what you guys do, mad respect, empowering small businesses, empowering people
Entrepreneurs
to have
and
their
everybody
voice
else
and
that-
share to the masses. I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
Appreciate
and
that.
that's I mean, admirable. I mean, to even be in this chair, like I was saying earlier, I feel like I manifested this, and this is so cool.
This is in the making. This is already overdue. You should have been in the chair with us whenever we filmed 2 years ago, a year ago.
But no, thank you for having us. Thank you
sure.
for letting
Wow,
us share
appreciate y'all,
our little slice of life from the universe.
I think this is probably the most intimate that we've been on the mic telling the Squeezer story,
Yeah.
all the way from pre-knowing each other or pre-dating or pre-marriage to where we are now. We shared a lot.
honored.
We shared a lot.
I'm honored. Well, I'll leave it with that, guys. I do want to check out Oz if you pull the shot to me. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go and you sign up for our Spotify or you subscribe to our Spotify and iTunes. Follow us there, vice versa. If you're following on iTunes and Spotify, make sure you go to the YouTube and you actually watch the visual here with Alex and Keith of Squeezers. Other than that, we look forward to you guys subscribing, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Again, guys, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.